Hello and welcome to Literature Party. I welcome you to another session of Literature Party online class where we have been dissecting literary text. So today we are going to talk about Redemption Road, the themes in Redemption Road. So in our previous video, we already looked into the characters in Redemption Road. And before I go into the themes in Redemption Road, I need to clarify something. So in the previous video, we made a wrong rendition of Louis as Lewis. So we actually apologize for this wrong rendition. So in this video, we are going to look into the themes in Redemption Road. And from our basic understanding of literature, we know a theme is a central idea in a literary text. A theme is one of the core messages in a literary text, and we have abundance of themes in Redemption Road. And one of the major themes in Redemption Road is the theme of resilience. So this theme is mostly characterized by Bendu Lewis. So Bendu Lewis is portrayed as a resilient woman determined to do whatever she has in mind. So after a chance encounter with Mrs. Vane, she becomes very resolute to pursue justice against Mrs. Vane for the atrocities he committed during the war as a Commander Cobra. So even though Commander Cobra, Moses Vane, he poses a threat to Bendu, she refuses to give up her pursuit of justice. So he kidnaps her, he harasses her on the beach, he, he does a lot of things to make her back off. He even threatens to reveal her dark secrets to her family. But all these were not enough to stop Bendu from pursuing justice. So that is just to tell you the kind of woman Bendu is. She's a very resolute person who is committed to whatever she sets her mind at. So, and talking about resilience, that desire to survive against all odds, it's evident in our funding of peace in practice, PIP. So it's another testament of resilience. So, and we have other characters in the text too. We have Tene, for example, who was raped as a teen. So and later she discovers she's HIV positive. These past experiences were not enough to stop her from being her true self. So she even becomes a counselor in PIP later on. So these are examples of resilient women in the text. So, and talking about Bendu, a part of her resilience is evident when the news of Commander Cobra's death, when the news of Mrs. Vane is broken to her, and she's still resolute to know how Commander Cobra died, the circumstances surrounding his death and all that. So it actually takes the setting up of Bendu by Terence Clark to stop her from pursuing this cause of justice. So Bendu is that type of a woman who is resilient. And every other character in the text that experienced war is portrayed as resilient in the sense that they are determined to survive against all odds. So another theme is the theme of loss and grief. The theme of loss and grief. So everywhere you look in the text, every angle you look at in the text, you would always see loss, you would see grief. So what unites the characters of Bendu, Eva, Siata, and Calvin? These four characters, what unites these four characters, for example, is the loss of Benji. The loss of Benji during the 1989 Liberian coup d'etat that ousted President Tolbert. So it was actually targeted at Americo-Liberians at that point. So the coup was targeted at Americo-Liberians, and Benji was unfortunate to be one of those people that were killed during the coup d'etat. So these four, they are united by their loss of Benji. So, and Bendu herself is also suffers the loss of Granny May. She suffers the loss of her grandmother, Granny May, whom she wheelbarrows during the chaotic war, whose frail and fragile body could not allow her to live further. So this is talking about the theme of loss, and even and then we have Josephine who lost her husband, We have Mamusu, for example. Bendu met Mamusu in Buluma camp, so she also lost her husband. Her husband was brutally killed by soldiers, by armed militants. Then we have grief. The text itself begins with grief. The text begins with grief, and that's the grieving of the Granny May's death, the commemoration of Granny May's death, and that's in the first chapter of the text. So in we talking about grief too, talking about grief. These four characters, decades after the death of Benji, they still grieve Benji's death. So, and up till the last part of the text, we also notice that Bendu is in a state of perpetual grieving too. So this is basically what the theme of loss and grief is all about. Then we have the theme of justice. The theme of justice. And the theme of justice is mostly characterized by Bendu's pursuit of justice against Moses Bani for his war crimes. So Bendu is very resolute, very determined to see Commander Cobra or Moses Bani brought to justice. So, but though pursuit of justice is thwarted by law enforcement agents, it is thwarted by Lieutenant James Tappe, it is thwarted by George Dagose, it is even thwarted by his brother-in-law, that's Terence Clark. But even at that, it did not stop her from pursuing justice to a considerable length. So, and we also witnessed the perversion of justice by characters like George Dagosel. We witnessed the perversion of justice by George Dagosel. So George Dagose is supposed to represent the judicial system. The Capitol building is supposed to represent fairness, truth, and justice. But this is far from what George Dagose represents. He only perverts justice for his own personal gains. So, and talking about the theme of justice, we may also have to talk about this seeming debate between justice and forgiveness. That seeming contest between justice and forgiveness, justice versus forgiveness. While Bendu believes in the pursuit of justice as a form of redemption and reconciliation, Agnes Jallo, on the other hand, our co-director at PIP, believes in forgiveness. She believes in forgiveness and letting go of the past. So while she would come to terms with Agnes' point of view later, it did not stop her initially from pursuing justice. So we also have the theme of corruption. The theme of corruption. And the theme of corruption can be addressed or viewed or interrogated from different perspectives. For one, we can address it from the perspective of how war corrupts values. How war corrupts values. In African society, for example, we believe in respect for elders. The younger ones are expected to respect elders. But we witness a perversion of this. We witness a perversion of this during the war, where we have child soldiers killing their elders, child soldiers indulging in wanton killings. So that this is a clear perversion of values, a corruption of values. Then we can look at institutional corruption from the perspective of Judge Dagose, who represents the judicial system in the book. He collects bribes. He indulges in bribery and corruption in order to give Moses Vani a free hand, to give Moses Vani and the people he represents a free hand. So this is what corruption means in the text. So when you expect justice from an angle and only for you to find out that what you can find there is an injustice, then people like Lieutenant James Tape are also complicit. They are also complicit because while Bendu was expecting they would pursue our case, they will pursue our case, let it stand, and but what they do is the direct opposite of that. They only thwart our case instead. Then we have a theme of post-war trauma. The theme of post-war trauma. So, well, trauma, as we understand, is a psychological wound that causes emotional injury to people. So we understand that war is not a child's plaything. It's not a child's plaything. You don't walk into a war and come out alive and then go back into society just like that. So you have to go through some transformational processes that would help you reintegrate into the society. So that's basically what we have in the text. A lot of these characters, a lot of the characters in the text are troubled. They are troubled by their they are troubled by their wartime experiences. Bendu, for example, after a second encounter with Mrs. Vani, she starts having nightmares. She starts having nightmares about wartime experiences. So we have other characters like Mrs. Vani. So Mrs. Vani, though he was a monster during the war, he is troubled by the atrocities he committed during the war. So he is troubled by the atrocities. He also has bad dreams too. He has a bad dreams. So we have Tene too. Tene who was raped during the war. We have Mamusu whose husband was killed. So different post-war experiences have left lasting lasting scars in these characters. So this is basically what this book seeks to address or correct, as the case might be. So these people are troubled. They are troubled by their past. And it is for this reason that Bendu had to start PIP to help people reintegrate into the society, even though she hasn't gotten past her own traumatic past too. So, and we also have the theme of redemption. The theme of redemption. So when a problem is created, there must be a solution. When you have a wound, the wound must be treated. The wound shouldn't be left to fester into something else. I mean, to gangrene or something. So it shouldn't be left to fester into something worse. And that is where redemption comes in. Redemption provides recovery for the people. It provides a channel for people to be reintegrated into the society as normal human beings, to be absorbed of all the things they have committed, the atrocities they have committed, the atrocities committed to them and the ones they committed to people, and the ones the accomplices are in. So that is where redemption that is, and redemption in the novel occurs on both institutional and personal level. And talking about institutional, we have an organization like PIP, peace in practice, teaching people peace, reconciliation, and tactics that would help them reintegrate into the society. So that's talking. And we have beneficiaries of PIP include Tene, Josephine, and Rosetta. So there's three, and a host of others are beneficiaries of Bendu's and Agnes Jallo's PIP program. So, and talking about the personal level redemption, personal redemption. We can look at Bendu. We can look towards Bendu, how she navigates through past traumatic experiences, and now she comes to recover, how she comes to recover by opening up to her family, telling her family what she experienced during the Civil War, what she did, and what was and what was done to her, and things like that, and the fact that she had a child she did not want to identify with at that point, for a war criminal. So this actually helped in her redemption. And the icing on the cake, a reunion with her long abandoned daughter, whose name is now Davis. So redemption. And for we have character for Ben for Moses Vani, his own idea of redemption is different. He has a warped sense of redemption. He believes that through the legal contract he's getting, arms deals and things like that, the country would finally achieve sanity. The country would finally achieve sanity, and this is evident. This is evident in now in his thought after encountering street children whom he gave some money, and how he identified with them, how he was once like them, and how what the legal things he is indulging in is acting as a front for, would help these people, would help these children. So that's his own idea of redemption. So he did not throw, he actually ruled out the possibility of not kidnapping Bendu when Bendu post to be a threat to his plans. So we have that's for the theme of redemption, and finally we have the theme of humanization of war. Humanization, theme of humanization of war. Well, war is a theater of human debasement. War is a theater of killings, of violence, of rape, of different unspeakable atrocities. So, and the Liberian Civil War wasn't any different. It's even worse because children, we find children carrying guns. We will find children carrying guns, shooting people indiscriminately. There is even a particular scene in the text. There is a particular scene in the text where a child shot a pregnant woman at the border, at the checkpoint. How a child shot a pregnant woman. So that's just to tell you how war a lot of times reduces human beings to low live animals. So that just tell you what the kind of impact war has on our humanity, So, and we in Duluma camp, for example, too, we also have the beheading of heads. We have beheading of heads, the wanton killings of subversive subversive elements, what Commander Cobra sees as a subversive elements. So everything is all about killing, 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 killing. So rape, we have rape too. Bendu was forcefully married to Samson. So for her, she was raped night after night. And that is why she did not want to initially identify with Moses, with her daughter May Davis. So it's all wanton killing. Then Tenet, there is Tenet to 18, a teenager who was